Ordinarily, this stretch should have lived its natural vegetation, but mansions are rapidly springing up here. Houses here are owned by the affluent, and they are grabbing large portions of this buffer zone. The Otodjor Lagoon serves as a buffer zone and a holding area for collected water from Dansoman, Awoshi, McCarthy Hill, Kwashiman, Weija, and its environs. Kwesi Adaipoku has lived in Dansoman for over 30 years and has seen developments here.
Probably 15, 20 years back, you couldn't even step in this area. I mean, the last point that you could get to was the junction at the Ham School junction. You know, you couldn't come down. So many of the people who settled here early were just built uncompleted and left it for so many years. And then when they saw the area was being developed, they just came back and then finished up their places. It was a bush and water and everything, like very swampy. The best materials for filling is the gravel and laterite and all that, but it's very expensive. So people use the waste products, like when buildings are broken down, when excavations are done somewhere, they bring the waste materials, fill here, and then they later use the laterite to fill up.
Who is to blame at a time when there's a national buffer zone policy? It is surprising to blame encroachment on government.
If the government or the state authorities fail to plan and develop a city as it should be, these are some of the things that happen. People bring up the development themselves, because even from the Ham and even Kaorindorf Park that you are talking about, much of the area has been developed by people themselves. I mean, when it comes to the roads, the road network, the drainages, I mean, most of it was done by individuals themselves.
The lagoon is a buffer zone and a conduit to the sea from all its tributaries. Thus, any obstruction of the lagoon causes water from upstream to accumulate, leading to heavy flooding. If their containments are inadequate, the water will overflow, and this would be disastrous. For residents like Nana Ekuabuaje, anytime the clouds gather, they get scared.
Sometimes I buy my 2 free hotel. Tinsuo to a higher pie, old mind that them a toss I just a pejano. Ed no quinty be any fear, now my mobile area has seen. A rat them by a sissimu, yakita more frank to any way penny me back. Me money a me and son. Your tenant phone so I hint yes, I know moon and swap about has seen. Terry had ye, and soon to a cousin higher near Bobby or tea, any moon crying a higher kissing.
Prophet Ezekiel Hyde's narrative is no different.
Whenever it rains, this area become flooded, and our church is just at the side there. When it rains, sometimes the water used to come at the waist level.
It seems the activities of developers here, if not contained, may cause a disaster. The signs are clear. But for Francis Tete, because their hands are tied, they are managing the situation themselves. This is one of the many houses that gets flooded anytime it rains in this part of Dansoman. So much so that the landlord has to hire water pump services to drain the water. However, the water stays because drains here are choked. How come all these things are outside? I mean, is it because of the flooding?
Yes, because of the flooding. That's why all these things are spoiled. So we command them to bring it down here.
Down.
No, we are not scared. We are not scared at all.
It is a wetland. And obviously, you see, it has eaten portions of the building, and you are sleeping in. You are not scared that one day you'll be there and everything will collapse on you?
We are not scared because the building is strong. It's an old building. It's not this type of new building that can collapse easily.
Developers have been asked to stop work, but we are told they work at night. This caretaker who was about to comment on it was just told by his boss not to comment.
Hello.
Over 200 acres of this buffer zone have been sold to private developers. This comes at a time when there's a national buffer zone policy. Authorities have warned developers to discontinue projects here, but they do so at midnight. My name is Otodjor reporting for City Newsroom.